to the gorgeous Gulf Coast of Florida. Sunshine, blue skies, and spring training baseball as we get you set for the first pitch between the Minnesota Twins and your Pittsburgh Pirates. Welcome to McKechnie Field in Bradenton, Florida, everybody. Along with Bob Walk, I'm Tim Nevern, and welcome to our first Pirates telecast of 2012 here on Root Sports. A lot of optimism in that Pirates clubhouse, Bob.
Well, there certainly is. The players, I think, are pretty fired up from what happened last year. You know, they were right there in the race all the way toward the end of July, and that's got everybody excited about taking another step forward, of course. And then with McCutchen being signed to that long-term contract, I think that really had a ripple effect all through that clubhouse. The Pirates players are really buying in, I think, to the direction this organization is going.
Let's take a look at the scheduled starters for today's game. Eric Bedard will start. Joel Hanrahan will come in after him for an inning, and then Jojo Reyes is expected to go 3 innings.
I'm really interested to watch Jojo Reyes not only today but all through spring training. Definitely in the running for a left-handed spot in that bullpen, but as you can tell by the fact that he's supposed to pitch 3 innings today, he might be in the running for a starter spot. He's going to add some depth to the starting rotation for this season.
One big addition to the starting rotation this season, left-hander Eric Bedard. Last year with the Red Sox, he's played with Baltimore and Seattle as well.
It certainly has got some big years in the major leagues where he has been a dominating starting pitcher. Has had some problems with health over the last few years, and to get him out there for the innings that he wants has been a tough thing to do. But when you look at the way he's come into spring training, the shape he is, we're hoping that he can pitch like he did when he was with Seattle, go out there, throw 30 starts up, and if he does that, he'll be a fantastic addition to the starting rotation.
Nate McLouth was a popular player when he was here in Pittsburgh. He's back now, and I know a lot of fans are going to look forward to seeing him play.
Well, everybody knows what a great hitter he was when he was with Pittsburgh, and hopefully seeing him back in that Pirate uniform will bring that bat back.
We're counting it down to the first pitch of the ball game. Lineups just around the corner. Spring training baseball action from beautiful Bradenton, Florida, and McKechnie Field. And it's coming up next on Root Sports. Back here in Bradenton, Florida, McKechnie Field. It's the Twins and the Pirates. Spring training baseball. Very, very nice Saturday afternoon. A little bit breezy, wind blowing out toward left field, but temperature very, very comfy, 75 degrees. Sorry, Pittsburgh, you're only at 33. 66% humidity, and yes, spring is in the air and in the forecast. A lot of Bucco fans making their way down from the north, and it's always great to get a chance to visit with them. Always great to get a chance to visit with the third member of our crew today, Rob King, who's also made his way down from the north.
Yeah, I love to hear that wind blowing out to left field. We're out in right field here, and every once in a while the ball will disappear over the crowd and come clattering among Cliff Wincoop, our photographer, and I. But we'll be down here getting interviews, guys. Looking forward to talking to A.J. Burnett, who flew back with the team last night after being, the medical examination and the surgery, obviously, in Pittsburgh. He'll be back, so we're looking forward to talking to him. We'll grab players as they come off the field as well. So looking forward to a lot of fun out here in right field.
It's a great place to be if you're Rob King today, because he'll be able to bring you interviews with guys as they come off the field when they're finished with their daily work. And again, as he mentioned, he'll talk to A.J. Burnett today as well. That's one of the great things about spring training games is we get to talk to players during the games. But just a nice atmosphere down here today. And this is one of the cooler days we've had. Actually, it's 75 degrees, Bob.
Oh, yeah, we had a little cloud cover this morning. Kept it a little cooler, but it's still supposed to hit 80 this afternoon, a little bit above 80. So it's a typical spring training afternoon.
Well, looking forward to seeing Eric Bedard's start. He did start one game already last weekend against the Blue Jays from Toronto. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Minnesota Twins. Denard Span will lead off, play center. The veteran Jamie Carroll, now a Twin. Josh Willingham, former Oakland Athletic, and designated hitter Justin Morneau. Valencia Cruz, a former infielder, now playing in the outfield. Former Bucco Steve Pearce is at first base today. Rene Rivera behind the plate. And the second baseman, the switch hitting Alexei Casilla. And the lefty, Eric Bedard. For many Pirates fans, their first look at him, and a guy who's got a pretty good curveball. When that thing is on, it's very, very difficult to hit.
Well, we talked about during the Open what he has done in his past, especially his years when he was in Seattle. He could be very dominant, and hopefully all the health problems are behind him, and he can stay off that disabled list this year and really be a great, great shot in the arm for this rotation.
Here's who is playing behind Bedard today in the field. Casey McGee is the third baseman, getting a chance to play out there today. Michael Navarro, the shortstop. Chase Darno at second. Jake Fox, utility man, at first base. Ron Barajas doing the catching. Alex Presley in left. Gorkis Hernandez and Nate McLeod wearing number 2 now for the Pirates. I don't know if he was going to get his number 13 back. That belongs to the skipper, Clint Hurdle.
No, I think he always liked to before he became a professional player. So I think he might be happy Jack Wilson had it when he was here. So he wasn't going to get 2 the first time around. He's got it now.
Eric Bedard from Ontario getting set to get going. There's Nate.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of offensive year that Nate can put together. Well, it's the second time around with Pittsburgh to rejuvenate that bat. He certainly struggled hitting in his time with the Braves, but we know what he's capable of. We saw that firsthand a couple years ago.
Well, Bedard getting set to throw the first pitch of the ball game. Eric expected to go 3 innings today. 6'1", 195. Back in 1999, a 6th round pick of the Baltimore Orioles. Ended up spending time with them in the big leagues. To Seattle for a while, and to Boston. And the first pitch of the game to Denard Span is in for a strike.
He'll want to throw more of those strikes in this outing today. It was a little bit on the wild side. His first time out this spring, walked a couple of guys. I think it was something we're not going to see out of him very much. He's going to be aggressive in that strike zone most of the time.
264 last year for Span. He's 5 out of 10 so far in spring training. And a very fun player to watch. A guy who can really, really run. Span had a game 2 years ago where he tied a modern day big league record, hitting 3 triples in a game. Last Twin to do that was Kenny Landreau. Last player to do that was Rafael Furcal, 2002. prior to Span doing it in 2010.
The Twins, I'm sure, are having an interesting spring training. They didn't do so well last year, and they're a team that definitely is not used to that. They made a lot of noise in that American League Central for several years.
1-2 pitch. Span is caught on strikes. Eric Bedard punches him out, and there is one gone in the top of the first.
Excellent location on this fastball. You got 2 strikes on the hitter. You go up and in, but keep it in the zone so that he can't afford to take it. And if he does swing at that, he's probably not going to get head of the bat to it. Great location.
Ray Sirich, pitching coach. He's doing some double duty today. He and Clint Hurdle over at Pirate City earlier today. A B game was played between the Pirates and the Twins, won by the Pirates. It was a 7-inning game, 8-2 the final. Buccos would win it. And they immediately commuted from Pirate City, a few miles away, to come over here. Jamie Carroll, last year with the Dodgers. He's been with the Rockies, Cleveland Indians, and the Washington Nationals. He was drafted by the Expos. That's something he and Jeff Karstens have in common. They were both drafted by the Montreal Expos when they were still the Expos. How about that? Jamie Carroll watches strike 3, and Eric Bedard, an impressive start, striking out the first 2 Twins looking.
This one, I think, is going to be a lot like the other strikeout, borderline high. Just puts it in a very good spot and gets the call.
There is Clinton. Ray with a little smile. I think he liked that.
Heck yeah.
Bill Welke calling the balls and strikes today. And now Josh Willingham.
Yeah, where was that pitch?
It's over now.
That looked close, wasn't it?
Yeah. There's Bill. His brother Tim's out on the bases. The umpires in spring training will rotate. Tim Welke, Wally Bell, and Chad Fairchild on the base paths today. And Willingham, one after that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, top of the first.
Yeah, spring training for the umpires also. So they move around out there and get as much work as they can at different spots.
And as much sun. Sometimes the sun's better at third, and the crew chief might say, I'm going over there this inning. Willingham, base hit to left. And Redmond Athletic is aboard with a 2-out single for Minnesota.
He tries to get this one inside and does, and that's why you heard the bat maybe break. That ball was in on about the label. Another good location. You see he doesn't hit it hard at all, just barely made it to the outfield grass. You're watching this game right now, you can tell Eric Bedard is definitely hitting his spots with that fastball. Moving it up, down, in.
Justin Morneau, the designated hitter, hits this one to center field. Back after it, Gorkis Hernandez will make the catch. And that'll do it for the Twins in the top half of the first. Bedard, pretty good inning. Pirates coming to bat. Pirates coming to bat. Minnesota scoreless in the top half of the first inning. Alex Presley getting set to lead things off here for the Buccos. Let's take a look at your Toyota Pirates starting lineup. Presley, then McLeod, Yamaiko Navarro, Ron Barajas, then Casey McGee. We'll see Jake Fox, Lucas Hernandez, a good defensive outfielder, Chase Darno, and then Eric Bedard will bat ninth. The Pirates have the pitcher hitting today, while the designated hitter employed for Minnesota. Terry Doyle is the pitcher, and he delivers strike one to Alex Presley. Doyle, a Rule 5 pick from the White Sox out of Salem, New Hampshire, and Boston College. And the pitch to Presley is hit right into the glove of the third baseman, Danny Valencia, for the first out. Take a look at what Doyle has done from a numbers standpoint. And Doyle is a guy they think can make the club as a long man.
I was going to have to.
26 years of age, 6'4" and 260. 8-10 last season in the bigs for Twins.
Started out in A-ball last year. That's 25 years old. That's a little old for A-ball. So you need to start making this jump pretty soon.
1-0 pitch to Nate. This is 2 balls and no strikes. A lot of smiles from Nate McLeod back in familiar environs. And heading the count 3-0.
Yeah, he couldn't have been that happy of a time in Atlanta. You know, there was a lot of expectations for Nate. Going there. He's a 20 home run guy with a Gold Glove, and it just didn't ever click for him in Atlanta. And I'm sure that it was very stressful for him.
Well, he figures to be the 4th outfielder, but getting a number of starts and a number of at-bats at any one of the 3 outfield positions. Hot shot toward the middle. That's a base hit. And McLeod is the first Bucco hit this afternoon. Defensively for the Minnesota Twins, led here by Ron Gardenhire today. The infield around the horn. Valencia is at third base. Jamie Carroll is shortstop. Casilla at second. And Steve Pierce from Lakeland, Florida, former Pirate at first base. Rene Rivera trying to make a spot on this club as the 3rd catcher. Trevor Plouffe, a converted infielder, and Denard Span in center. Josh Willingham is in right behind right-hander Terry Doyle. One on, one out. And Yamaiko Navarro, former member of the Red Sox and Royals. He's trying to make this team as a utility infielder.
Yeah, there's not too much to be decided, but the bench certainly is up for grabs a little bit. And McGee is looking to be a platoon player, so he's going to be essentially, I guess, listed as a bench guy. And then you have McLeod, who's going to be the 4th outfielder, and then it gets real murky. And you have Navarro, who is known to be a very good bat guy, maybe a little suspect with the glove. How is he going to fit in? And Jake Fox today in the lineup. He's another guy that is in competition for a job this spring.
Fox is willing to do whatever it takes to make the club. He's got 9 different gloves, so he'll go play anywhere. Today playing first base. Navarro today playing shortstop. Clint Hurdle likes the fact that he's got some guys who can play different positions. He's got Nick Evans, who can play both corner infield spots. It's just a matter of how the bench will be made up heading north for the April 5th opener against the Phillies at PNC Park. 1-2.
Yeah, early on, I think Navarro, the way he has hit the ball, has put himself out there in a pretty good spot. I know going into the spring, they really thought of him as an excellent bat, and they kind of want to find out about his glove.
Stretch by Doyle. He'll throw to first, and diving back is Nate McLeod. One thing about McLeod's game is he's always had a high success rate stealing bases. It's a good jump, reads pitchers well. 1-2 to Navarro. one up in the air to shallow right center field. Denard Span coming over. The right fielder Willingham will call him off. Sometimes the wind can play tricks on the baseball when it gets into the outfield here at McKechnie Field.
It sure can, but back to the middle infield, the utility they got. I would say that Navarro and then also Josh Harrison, those two guys have got off to the best starts as far as who can be that guy in the middle infield. And I think both of them need to prove they can handle the shortstop position. I think that's a big key for them.
Well, Harrison was sent to instructional league here in Bradenton after the regular season to learn shortstop. He's made 2 spring training starts already at short. And here is the veteran catcher, Rod Barajas.
He will be the man behind the plate this year.
Came up with the Diamondbacks. He's been with the Rangers, the Phillies, Blue Jays, Mets, in the last couple of seasons with the Dodgers. And Barajas lifts one to left field. Going back on his poof. He is up against the wall to make the catch. Well, Barajas gave it a ride, just not far enough. Trevor Plouffe catching up to it. We'll head to the second. No score in Bradenton. Jay Burnett, the subject of our AGH injury update today. This was the bad bunt heard all around Pirates Nation. Orbital issue, surgery. A.J. Burnett, who caused a lot of buzz when the Pirates were able to acquire him from the Yankees, now is set back, but has returned to Bradenton in just a little while. Our Rob King will have the opportunity to talk to A.J. He's here at the ballpark today, so looking forward to seeing how his progress is going.
We'll see Ray Searage again. I really want to again congratulate Ray. What a job he did last year. He deserves so much credit. I know the players are the ones, the pitchers, they got to go out and do the job. But the incredible turnaround that the pitching staff made, Ray deserves a lot of credit for that last season.
I think part of his philosophy was, let's not put a square peg in a round hole. Let's not make everybody do the same type of thing. And Ray tailored everything to each individual. And
I know he's become very popular with his pitchers. They love him.
Third baseman Danny Valencia with an 0-1 count. And Bedard's pitch. Ball 1. Valencia 3 out of 11 in the spring so far for Minnesota. 246 last year.
And I don't think it's all that important that you love the manager, but I think whatever coach is in your department, whether you're an infielder, outfielder, whatever, pitcher, he's going to be somebody you want to lean on and be a confidant.
Ball took a weird turn on McGee. Throw to first, and he got it. Well, that wasn't your average everyday ground ball to third. Had some English on it. McGee had to put the brakes on and ended up making a nice play.
Oh, he certainly did. This ball had that crazy spin. It came off the end of the bat. Look how it goes back toward fair territory. No time to set his feet. Just whipped it over their sidearm, put it right on the money. Nice play. And look, he's got his right foot on the other side of the foul line. Had to reach back. Nice adjustment.
One down. Here is Trevor Plouffe. And we remember Plouffe in spring training games playing shortstop for the Twins. Came up as a shortstop, but 81 games at .238, 8 home runs. They like his bat. However, with Jamie Carroll here now, the veteran, doesn't appear he'll get much time at that position, so trying to find a way to get him in the lineup. And Ron Gardenhire and the Twins think left field might be the ticket for him. Ron Gardenhire had to suffer through a tough season last year after having a number of very good ones with Minnesota. 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, the media scrum, the man in the middle with the Pirates cap on and the sunglasses, that is A.J. Burnett, making his return here to Bradenton after surgery. The shallow center, Marcus Hernandez. 2 down.
Well, you think since AJ's a Pirate, he'd have an eye patch on.
Don't think not. Don't think we didn't have those jokes lightheartedly. See that scar right under the right eye. Talked to Rod Barajas the other day. He used to catch him in Toronto. He is very excited getting back. He said, you know, it's so important that he is back and healthy because he will help the ball club a lot. Barajas very confident. Steve Pearce standing right near Barajas. His first at bat against the Pirates as a Twin. Pearce had an up and down time with the Pirates. Injuries played a lot into that. McGee with a diving stop. And he got him. Casey McGee throwing some weather around in the top of the second inning. How about that? Casey at the glove. For the Atlantic Division title when the Penguins head to the Big Apple to take on the first place New York Rangers. It's a great day for hockey. Thursday, 6:30 p.m. on Root Sports. And this is what the Penguins want to do to the Rangers right here. Look at that. How about the Osprey having a little snack?
It's a little fresh fish. You usually have that down here in Florida. Nothing wrong with that. Looks good, doesn't it? Sushi.
That particular one? No.
You don't want to share with him?
No. I'd let him have it. That's a Happy Meal right there.
Yeah. He's happy.
1-0 pitch to Casey McGee. Lines it to the gap in left center field. That's going to get down. Bernard Span cuts it off. McGee heading for second base, and he is into the double. Great start today for Casey McGee.
He doesn't quite get this ball all the way to the fence, but I mean, he knows it. The play's in front of him as he's rounding first base, but he makes a decision that, hey, I'm going to make him throw me out. If Span can put the ball right on the bag, maybe he'll get me out. But if the throw is offline even a little bit, I'm in there with a leadoff double, and that's what happened. Nice aggressive base running by McGee. Throw goes to shortstop side a little, no play.
McGee happy to be in Pirates colors. I told him the other day in the clubhouse, I'm glad you're wearing these colors and not Brewers colors, because he's tired of watching you do damage. He was rather modest. He said, I never hit that well against the Pirates. I said, well, you did the games that I was at, but which was all of them for the last 3 years.
You know, they've obviously had our number. We have played well against the Brewers. It's no secret. But maybe going after and getting one of their guys is going to be the key that breaks the spell they've had on us.
Jake Fox at the plate, but McGee looking slimmer this year too. He has cut some weight. Figures to be in that third base rotation, first base rotation. Already made two very nice plays at third in this game. And Fox to left field on a base hit. Pirates will have runners at the corners with nobody out. Let's go down to Rob King, who's with A.J. Burnett.
All right, thanks very much, Tim. AJ, first of all, you said your media's from here, but you're repeating yourself a little bit. How did the eye feel? How did the procedure and everything go?
Man, it feels really good. It went well. It went better than I expected. Of course, the last thing you ever want to do is have that, and I wasn't expecting to hear that. But in our line of work, you can't be overly cautious, so it was definitely a no-brainer to get it done. And you know, Dr. Bay did a great job, and you know what? I had no pain. Vision came back quick, and because of that, I was able to start my workout today.
Yeah, we've heard 8 to 12 weeks. You started workouts today. What is the next step for you?
Tomorrow. I mean, simple as it seems. I was talking to Neil about that. You know, the 8 to 12 weeks is a legitimate precautionary, timetable. Now, it could be earlier than that. It could be that. It's going to come down to how my eye reacts to the pounding of getting back to working out and getting back to doing things. And, hopefully it doesn't swell up or act up, and we just move right along.
Had a chance to talk to Daniel McCutcheon. He said that you guys became fishing buddies, you and he and James McDonald and Kevin Correa. A chance to fit in right away with this ball club?
Man, they've accepted me with open arms. I mean, it's an amazing feeling. I was talking to Casey about it, Kevin, and it feels good to be looked up to. You get away from that as you get, on different teams and this and that. But coming back and, being around all these young guys, it make you feel younger too, So they were here, and like today was my first day back, and it was great.
And a chance to pitch to Rod Barajas again, a guy who caught you in Toronto.
Yeah, guys are going to have fun with him. I've already told him, he takes pride in getting to know his pitchers. Doesn't take up bats out to the field with him, no matter how humiliated he gets up there. His priority is us, and we're going to have a lot of fun, I think.
How tough is it for you? You're a guy that is known as a workhorse, to know that you're going to miss X amount of games and not. I'm sure you're pawing at the ground wanting to get going.
I was thinking about getting going at home when I had that week off, but I figured I better not. It's tough. You got to know your body, and I know myself by now. So as hard as it is, I just want to try to keep around it. Make sure I'm around it, in the dugout, around the guys, and just let it happen the way it's supposed to happen.
Finally, AJ, you're obviously new to this team, but they picked up you. They picked up Eric Bedard. They got off to that hot start last year. Signed Andrew McCutcheon to an extension. I don't know how much you got a chance to see the Pirates pitching in the American League, but your thoughts on what you've seen so far from this team?
It's a good squad, man. It's a very good squad. I was talking to Rod about it, and we mentioned it in there. You win in first place for a month or two, you're lucky. You play first place for 4 months, you're good. So find a way to get past the months that come after that and take it the whole season. You got something special here.
We're looking forward to watching A.J. Burnett pitch. A.J., thanks for the time.
Anytime. Thank you.
All right, Tim and Bob, now back to you.
All right, thanks, Rob. Thanks, A.J. Great to see him back.
A great attitude, day at a time, and I think that they've been very conservative with their guess at how long he's going to be back. It could be sooner, but you don't want to put yourself in a position where now you're having to move that date back. So it's nice to be able to move it forward. They've handled it great.
Gorkis Hernandez, thanks to him, we had a nice long at bat, able to talk to AJ for a while, and he works a walk. So the bases are full of buckos here in the second inning. But you want to talk about the relationship between Barajas and Burnett? And it is all about the batteries. 28 games with Barajas, 16-7. The area of 3.8.
You know how I can tell they had a good relationship is when he said, no matter how bad he is humiliated at home plate, he doesn't take that out with him catching. So when you can say that about somebody, you know him well and you got a great relationship. To say no matter how humiliated he is, he'll still go out and he'll bust his rear end for you catching.
That's good. Chase Darno at the plate. And AJ wearing number 34 this year. That was Daniel McCutcheon's number last year. Daniel wearing 25 this year. And that was a nice story a couple of weeks ago. And they showed up to camp here where AJ said, what do you want for 34? And Daniel said, how about a college fund for my unborn daughter? I said, all right, well, what do we do to set it up? He said, we can't because she doesn't have a social security number yet. But when that occurs, AJ will set up a college fund for Daniel's daughter. To center field, Span with it, tagging is McGee. It goes to the shortstop. Pirates with a 1-0 lead on RBI. Sacrifice fly by Chase Darno. Chase gets a run in. We're talking with hitting coach Greg Ritchie about things that have gone on early going with the hitters. The hitters have been doing a pretty good job. And he says they're sticking with the plan. I said, well, what's the plan? He said, it's the plan. McCutcheon went 3 for 3 last night against the Red Sox in a 7-4 win against Boston. He hit a couple off the Green Monster at JetBlue Park.
Well, see if Bedard can get the job done now. This is why it's important, I think, to have your pitchers hit during spring training. This is the kind of stuff they have to do during the year to perhaps win 1 or 2 games that you wouldn't normally do. You got to get the runners over. So, I mean, why wouldn't you want your pitchers practicing this? Got to get this butt down.
It's up in the air, and that is caught by Rene Rivera. So Bedard doesn't get it done.
You can practice all you want in that cage. It's not like getting out there with a live pitcher throwing at you.
So 2 outs, back to the top of the order. Alex Presley lined out to the third baseman Danny Valencia, his first time up. This guy's got great bat speed, really surprisingly good bat speed. If you look at him for the first time, you've never seen Alex play before, you'd say, well, he's not an imposing physical specimen. But he's a baseball player, and he gets his hands to the hitting zone very, very quickly. That has helped him become a very good hitter. 6 out of 13 in spring training, just under 500.
Yeah, excellent speed, good feel for running the bases, playing defense. Brings a lot to the table.
0-1 pitch. A little bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Alex Presley.
Speaking of number changes.
Yeah, number 7. And you might say, well, wasn't that retired? The answer is no. Chuck Tanner's number 7 was on the right center field wall last year at PNC Park as an honor to Chuck. And nobody wore it last year. So this year it's back in circulation, and Alex Presley wanted it, changing from number 44 on to number 7. Two balls, 1 strike to Alex. Runners at first and second. And a bouncer towards second base. Casilla goes out Presley. But the Pirates get a run on a couple of hits. Clint Hurdle, we're going to join him, or he's going to join us when we return. 1-0 Pirates with Bob Walk. I'm Tim Neverett. Eric Bedard gets set to start his third inning of work. He'll face the catcher, Rene Rivera. We're happy to have with us the skipper, Clint Hurdle, joining us downstairs. Hi, Clint.
Good afternoon.
Back home for you here in Florida. I know you grew up in Merritt Island, but how are you liking Bradenton?
I love it here. We've got family here. Carla's mom and dad lives here. Her brother lives in Bradenton. My folks are on the East Coast, a couple 2.5 hours away. The kids are going to school out on Anna Marie Island. We are living the dream, Tim.
Well, your assessment of spring training so far?
Just like a doctor's surgery, successful. Isn't that what the doctors say after they operate? Surgery was a success?
Yeah, you hope they say that.
That's what I've always heard. So right now we're at a good point. We've got work to do. We've done some good work. We've got some techniques in place with some different personnel, whether it be pitchers or players, some things we're working on. I like the way we're connecting the dots on offense the first week of spring training. Our pitchers, we've had some consistency. Then we've had some times where maybe the running game, we've tried to be a little too quick to play. We've got things to work on. But overall, the attitude and effort has been very, very good. And we're having some fun along with it. And that always helps. You got to sprinkle some fun on everything you do.
1-2 pitch to Rivera.
Clint, it really looks like a nice pitch. Throws him in the inside corner. Bedard is hitting the spot for that fastball this afternoon. Clint, what I want to ask you about walking through the clubhouse and just saying hi to some of the players and stuff every now and then. It seems like the attitude, and you mentioned it just a few moments ago, is sky high. That this club is really set on building on what got started last year.
We are, Bob. Great lessons learned last year through the first 4 months of some success. Then the last the 2 months, the challenges that came with that, they're great lessons to be taken in preparation for this season. The guys walked away last year, no doubt in my mind, with a complete understanding of what a 162-game championship season is all about. And when we get in those tough times, we get in those hard times, that's when we fall back on our training. That's when we fall back on our teammates. That's when we fall back on our process. We don't panic. We don't try and do too much. We don't try and be the guy. We just take what's given to us, do the right thing at the right time for the right reason, and move forward. And the confidence is there because of all the hard work, I think, done over the season. And plus, there were some signs of tangible success in some areas last year. They got to experience those 2 months in the summer. The synergy of the city was electric, and the ballpark was awesome. And now we've got to find a way to make it sustainable, sustain the success through an entire season.
Clint, the guys are wearing shirts that say finish. And we're showing going to show the audience here those T-shirts. Tell us about those and how you came up with that. I mean, it's pretty evident how you came up with it. You want them to finish the season better than they did last year. But talk about those T-shirts the guys are wearing.
Well, the front of the shirt has grit. Grit happens. There's another slang term that's been thrown around in the past, but we're talking about grit. We're talking about actually what comes before grit is what happened to us the last 2 months. There's a shift. Shift happens in the season. You get to a hard place. You get some challenging times, whether it be injuries, personnel, lack of execution. You've got to fall back on your grit. You got to find a way to put a foot down, compete on the field, not worry about mechanics, not worry about what you don't have, but get things going, just grit it out, and then to finish it. Finish the pitch, finish the at-bat, finish the inning, finish the play, finish the game, and eventually finish the season. So that's where it came from. That was, I think that was my thought. I think I came up with the shirt.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, helping that finish, to me, the depth that's been added to the starting rotation's got to really make you feel good.
It does, and that's even without A.J. We've added depth to the starting rotation. We've added depth to the bullpen, and we've added depth to our player pool. With the blessing of ownership, we went out early in the offseason for the free agent acquisitions, and then the addition of A.J. as well. So we're doing tangible things of success.
Clint, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
See Joel Hanrahan come out next for the Pirates after they hit. McLeod starts the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 Pirates. Terry Doyle still on, and McLeod goes to left field in the base hit. Leadoff single for Pirates outfielder. And a nice start from McLeod. He's 2 for 2.
Takes this pitch where it's thrown. It's a little sinker going down and away, and he slaps it to left. Leads the inning off. Good opportunity maybe to use that speed of his, the base stealing ability.
See McLeod visiting with Steve Pierce at first base, but he's checking across the diamond, looking at third base coach Nick Lay. But now the third hitter in the order today, the shortstop Yamaiko Navarro, flying to right, 0 for 1. Doyle throws to first, and getting back is McLeod. Barajas on deck, and he will hit after Navarro. Again, the throwback. So Doyle, a Rule 5 pick for the Twins from the White Sox. If he does not make the Twins, they'll have to offer him back to Chicago. For a guy who started in A-ball last year, Bob, he's hoping it works out.
Because he's not 26 years old. He's
that
he's a little behind. A little behind.
Went to Salem High School in Salem, New Hampshire. Played collegiately at Boston College. There's an 0-1 count on Navarro. One and one. Well, Neil Walker's had a bit of a bad back lately. Not really bad, just some slight tightness. He's missed some action. He was out taking ground balls today in batting practice. He's resumed action in full, and he'll be in the lineup tomorrow in Port Charlotte against the Rays. Throw to first. Neil grabbed me by the batting cage today and said, "Oh, the game's on TV today." Looked out at the TV truck out in the outfield. He said, "It's on TV. You have to do me a favor." So he wanted me to say hello to his grandparents, Elizabeth and Bob Lang, who are in their young 90s, but big Pirates fans. And Neil misses them a lot. And McLeod missed his mark in taking off and was gunned down by Rivera. And he's one away for the Pirates.
The Twins definitely are thinking along the same lines I was talking about, where good running situation, and they messed with him over there, all the pickoff throws, and then guessed right on the pickoff, or excuse me, the pitch out. And Nate was a dead duck.
Ball to Navarro, 3-1. Nate got thrown out in Clearwater a couple of games ago against the Phillies, although he really didn't. He counted it as a steal. It was one of those spring training calls you get sometimes. Navarro bouncer, that is knocked down at third by Valencia, but that'll end up as a base hit for Yamaiko Navarro.
A good job of keeping it in the infield.
The catcher number 26.
I don't think he's going to get it out here, even if it catches it clean. But the main thing is, if it goes by him and gets in the corner, it's extra bases. So by knocking it down, he saved himself 90 feet, or saved the Twins 90 feet. That would have probably rolled down into the Twins bullpen and been one of those ground rule doubles. They have that chalk line that parallels the foul line. The ball goes over. It's 2 bases. We've seen that happen a lot already this spring.
Strike call to Barajas, who flat out deep to left in the first inning. 0 for 1 today. 4 out of 9 so far this spring. Pirates a 1-0 lead, bottom of the third. And Barajas down the left field line, and this will get in, and just like you said, Bob, goes over that chalk line.
That was on cue, wasn't it?
Yeah. Did you draw that up? So second and third now with one out for the Pirates as Barajas picks up his second double of the spring.
That chalk line, it worked in the Twins' favor. Pirates probably score a run if that chalk line's not there. The ball's going to rattle around, and Navarro will score from first base. But there you see the chalk line on the far left there. Once it goes across right there, now it's a ground rule double, and Navarro has to stop at third.
Two men in scoring position with one out. Casey McGee had a solid double his first time up, and he swings and lifts this one high in the air to left center field. Denard Span going back, and it is high off the wall. Navarro coming in to score. Coming around third is Barajas, and he is going to be out.
I think that was a home run.
Well, Barajas not exactly the most fleet of foot.
I think that's a home run. I think that went off the Sporting News sign.
Well, we'll have to take a look. They're saying it's a double, and the replay won't count. They won't be able to use a replay in spring training game. You'll get the opportunity to look at it. And Barajas trying to get in here. But no luck.
Nice attempt with the slide, trying to go wide, but I thought that ball hit the bottom of the Sporting News sign, and maybe not.
That's going to do it for Terry Doyle. A double for Casey McGee. He goes down to third on the throw, and the Pirates add another run. It's 2-0 in the third. Take the field with the Pirates on an all-new Inside Pirates Baseball when the Bucs infield is wired for sound. And hear from the players on how they beat the monotony of camp. All that and more on Inside Pirates Baseball Spring Training Friday at 6 on Root Sports. Anthony Swarzak is the new pitcher for the Twins. Jake Fox is the batter, and that one way up and in.
This one was close. Fastball right at the chin. Had to be quick as a fox to get out of the way of that one.
Swarzak's 1-0 is high. 2 balls and no strikes. Runner at third is McGee. Got there with a double. Went down to third when Barajas tried to score behind Navarro. So man at third, 2 down. 2-0 Bucs. 7 hits so far for the Pirates. Swarzak's 2-0. In there for a called strike. Doyle went 2 2/3. 7 hits, 2 runs to the moment. Still responsible for McGee at third base. He walked one, didn't strike anybody out. Eric Bedard, the starter. Outstanding work. 3 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Breaking ball in for a strike. Jake Fox last year with the Orioles. The Orioles went 5-0 against the Pirates in spring training last year, largely because of Jake Fox. Popped it up, foul ground. Valencia by the tarp, and he will retire. Jake Fox, the hammer, getting ready to come down early in Florida. Casey McGee, 2 doubles and an RBI as the Pirates hold a 2-0 lead, top of the 4th. That last double very close to a home run.
Yeah, you can see the replay. It actually hits just underneath the yellow line, so definitely was not a home run. And good work by the camera. Nice replay. We got to see that. Hit right at the top of that padding.
And this year, replay will expand to include fair or foul balls, fly balls caught or trapped by outfielders, and the umpires can look at interference calls for all fences. They'll include home runs and down the line. Still pending approval from the Owners, Players Union, and Umpires Union, but certainly expected to pass.
Well, that play there would have probably have been replayed during the season. There would have been some arguing, and it's close enough to where I think the umpires would have went and taken a quick look at it. And one thing baseball definitely has done, even though I'm not a big fan of replay, I think they've done it the right way. It is very quick. They go down, they look at it, they come right back up, they make a call, boom, no arguing, no nothing. They have seemed to been real good about that, and hopefully these changes won't add any more length. It'll be the same way, nice and quick.
Joel Hanrahan ahead of Jamie Carroll, 0-2. Ground ball to third. McGee. Easy throw. There's one down for Hanrahan. The All-Star, Joel Hanrahan. He has been told he's got a spot on this ball club. He is told he will be the closer. 1-4 a year ago. 40 saves and 44 opportunities. He did appear against the Blue Jays last Sunday. Went 1 inning, struck out 2. Made quick work of the Blue Jays. 2 impressive strikeouts. And so far, he's faced one man here today. Got him out. Now facing Josh Willingham. That's the interesting thing about the bullpen, Bob, is that Hanrahan's the only guy who's been told that he's got his spot locked down. Even with guys who performed well last year in certain roles, they've been told it's open.
I'm going to take that with a little grain of salt. There were some guys that had very successful years last year. I think the only thing they have to prove is that they're healthy, throwing the ball the way they were last year, and then their spot is assured. But we'll see what happens.
1-1, cut and a miss. Joel Hanrahan, 100-mile-an-hour heater. He usually get up to 98, 99. Sometimes he'll get into triple digits. And he throws that slider off speed. You might say 87 miles an hour, 86. Pretty quick, but still it looks a lot slower coming off that 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And he strikes out Willingham, 2 down.
When you think about it, there's a lot of pitchers in baseball that their fastball is the same velocity as Hanrahan's slider.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Justin Morneau, 4-time All-Star, the American League Most Valuable Player in 2006. He was the runner-up in 08. Last time up, he hit it hard, but out to deep left center field where Marcus Hernandez tracked it down.
Not uncommon in spring training. You see a lot of closers will come and pitch in the middle of the ball game.
Well, initially, he was scheduled to go after JoJo Reyes, who was warming up and getting ready to go next.
And see, this is a more controlled situation where you can bring the closers in the middle of the game. You can pick a spot for the guys you want them to face. And it goes without saying, if you wait to the end of the game where they're going to be pitching during the season, well, what if there is no?
Right, you want to see him pitch against a major league guy.
What if you're not in the field in the 9th inning? It can't happen, and then they don't even pitch at all.
2 strikes now on Morneau.
I can remember my first major league. Well, I guess it would have been my second major league spring training. We went to Fort Myers with Philadelphia, and Tug McGraw didn't want to go unless he was guaranteed to pitch 2 innings, and then they pitched in the last 2 innings of the game. Well, there was no bottom of the 9th that day, so he didn't get. He was really upset because veterans don't go from Clearwater to Fort Myers back in those days.
That was about a 2.5-hour trip.
He was not happy. Well, they don't do that anymore. Now, if you want your closer to pitch 2 innings, you do it in the middle of a ball game when you can control that.
Hanrahan strikes out Morneau, and he has 4 strikeouts over 2 innings pitched this spring. Impressive. This is the hammer against Morneau. Strikeout. Starling Marte has been a star so far for the first week of spring training. Hit his 2nd home run a couple of games ago in Clearwater against the Phillies. That was his 8th straight hit. 9 hits, 13 at bats. Starling Marte leads the Grapefruit League in batting average. Barrel.com definitely worth a click. And Starling Marte in a B game earlier today went 1 for 4, stole 2 bases, scored a couple of runs.
Well, we have heard a lot about him over the last couple of years, and similar to what we heard of McCutchen and Tabata and even Presley, and now we're getting to see him, and wow, he's looking pretty good. He looks to be the player that everybody said he was. Do a lot of things and a lot of things well.
Hernandez looks at one down and away. Marte's average dropped all the way from 750 to 692 when they were able to find a way to get him to fly to right in Clearwater.
I understand that wasn't just a pop up to right field. That he actually, the wind was blowing in and he hit it very well that direction.
He hit it very well, and the home run that he hit here at McKechnie Field the day before against Toronto was to deep left center to the right of the scoreboard. And Gorkas Hernandez, who will get a lot of time in center field where Marte is used to playing, but the Pirates getting Marte time in right field, perhaps planning for the future. Right now, Andrew McCutchen's not going to be supplanted or asked to move.
Well, Thomas got that same 6-year contract, remember?
That's true. But they want to try him at the corners, both right and left. There is serious outfield depth in this organization right now. Pretty much going to opening day, Presley, Talbot, McCutchen, McLouth would be your 4 outfielders. After that, there's good depth in the minor leagues. Hernandez, defensively, the word is on him is that he might be the best defensive center fielder in the system.
He must be really good then, because I haven't seen many better than McCutchen.
2-2 to Gorkas Hernandez. Swarzak's pitch. Outside corner, and he got him. Well, I understand it's just a week, and spring training stats sometimes aren't always telling, but take a look at team batting through spring training. This is everybody, including the Cactus League and the Grapefruit League. The Pirates as a team heading into today's game, 310. 10 or more hits in 5 straight games. The next Grapefruit League team on that list would be Detroit, hitting 304. But the Giants and Cubs out west doing pretty well. And again, the stats at this point in time can be deceiving, but the fact of the matter is these guys are putting the bat on the baseball, which is what they're supposed to do.
That's what Chase d'Arnaud has to do a little bit better job of to get himself in the big leagues to stay. I think he got a nice little taste last year. Would you say it probably learned a lot about where he needs to take his game to make this jump from the minor leagues to the big leagues? He, again, athletically very gifted.
Pedro Alvarez on deck. He'll hit for Joel Hanrahan.
But just needs to hit better.
He certainly will never forget his first big league hit. Sold out house, one of the biggest crowds ever at PNC Park against the Boston Red Sox. He got a triple. Two lifted to shallow right field, and d'Arnaud will have himself a base hit. 1-out single for Chase.
Your attention, please, former Pirates. Pitch hitting for Hanrahan is number 20.
Got in on him. Good hard fastball right in on the hands and just barely fights it off. Surprised that one didn't chop the bat in half. But he puts it in the right spot. Location, location. Look at that little parachute drop.
d'Arnaud aboard with 1 down.
Now, when d'Arnaud came to the big leagues last year, you couldn't keep him at one base. He was looking to run every time he got on.
There is Pedro. Swings at the first ball and skies it to left. Waiting underneath at Trevor Plouffe.
Could have been. I liked it. I don't care. One pitch, made an out, big deal. I mean, he was aggressive. That's what we want to see out of him. And he got the head of the bat to the ball.
Left field number 7.
He does that. He's going to try to lot him out of the ballpark.
Well, he hit one here the other day.
That line drive down the left field line.
Opposite field smash on a 3-2 count. Just went the other way with it.
Most guys hit that same ball. They're just kind of flicking it into left field for a single. He drove it on a line. Just cleared the fence into the Boys and Girls Club.
I asked him about it today. I said, were you just trying to make some contact, go the other way with it? He said, well, I had to go the other way. It was outside.
Yeah, it wasn't even a strike.
But he said, I was trying to hit it hard. And hard, he certainly hit it. Presley is 0 for 2. Lined out to third and grounded to second. Bucks with a 2-0 lead over the Twins. Pedro. Pinch hit appearance. Saw one pitch. Now he packs his bag. Here comes the 1-0. Count even. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Alex Presley. When Alex was called up last year, we were in Toronto. First game, he hit a home run right field. I think the expectations were high for him to be a power guy, but if you saw the home run, it was more of a fly ball than anything else.
Yeah, he's not a power hitter. He'll hit some home runs, but that won't be his main weapon. His deal is to hit for average, get on base, be a run scorer. Not necessarily an RBI type guy.
I remember he was more surprised than anybody that ball left the ballpark.
Well, as we got to see while we were up there, that ballpark pretty conducive to the home run. It flies out of there.
One ball, 2 strikes. Anthony Swarzak pitching from Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Yeah, good fastball.
Swarzak last year 4-7 with Minnesota. With 27 appearances. Started 11 games. Bouncer to first. Pierce will flip to Swarzak, and that'll do it for the Pirates this inning. 1 hit, 1 left. We go to the 5th. Here comes left-hander Joel Reyes.
Root Sports is brought to you by Barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. By your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucks!
Pirates leading the Twins 2-0 as we head to the top of the fifth inning. JoJo Reyes is on to pitch. And speaking of pitching, let's head out toward the Pirates bullpen. Rob King standing by with today's starter, Eric Bedard.
Tim, thanks very much. And Eric, very efficient outing today. What did you feel about how you were throwing the ball out there?
I felt good. Just trying to throw strikes with all my pitches and just try to keep the ball down.
Were you trying to get ahead with the fastball? Looked like you're using that a lot, and then were able to follow that up with a nice-looking curveball.
Yeah, spring training, you just work on throwing strikes, getting ahead, and trying to finish the hitters.
Some of the hitters probably using their French. Pardon my French. He's fluent in French, by the way. I just found that out. Eric Bedard is fluent in French. Eric, your thoughts on how spring training is going so far? Obviously, for you, one of the big questions is how healthy you are. How do you feel?
I feel good right now. It's been a good spring, just working on getting my arm strength and just getting ready for the season. It's a process. You can't go too fast or go too slow. Just gradually work till you get in shape for the season.
You feel like you're on track for that right now?
Yeah, I feel really good.
I don't know how much you know about this team. I asked A.J. Burnett the same question. Your thoughts on coming over to this ball club and what you've seen of the talent and the group of players they have here?
I think it's great talent, great young talent, and I'm glad they brought in a couple of veterans and then just bring the team together, and hopefully we can win.
Outstanding outing out of Eric Bedard. Eric, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
All right, Tim and Bob, back to you.
All right, thanks, Rob. And Valencia to the gap in right center field. This will make the wall. And the third baseman for the Twins will pull in for the leadoff double. JoJo Reyes gives up an extra base hit to the first man he faces. JoJo is scheduled to go 3 innings today.
Well, he's had significant experience as a starter in the major league, so I can understand him wanting to go 3 innings this afternoon. He is in the mix to give you that depth in your starting rotation in case things go south for somebody. We have some injuries, something like that. He would be one of the guys, along with perhaps Lincoln, that could fill in that role immediately. So they have to stretch him out a little bit, but also he's got to be a great candidate for one of the left-handed spots in the bullpen. Not knowing how many lefties they're going to take, though. I think that's a question mark.
Of his 70 big league appearances, 62 of them have been starts.
And here's another thing that is going to go into all the speculation as we get down who's going to go, who's going to be in the bullpen, all that kind of stuff. Is they could easily start the season with just 4 starting pitchers and take an extra bullpen guy or an extra regular player. I think the wind's caught this one. Going to hold it up a little bit.
And then McLeod makes the catch, and Valencia will tag and head to third base.
So we really might not know the makeup of that bullpen until we get into the season a couple of weeks and have to go to 5 starters. Or they could just go with 5 starters when the season starts. That's the beauty right now, is nothing is etched in stone. A lot of options. Charlie Morton, who would look to be that 5th guy right now, seems to be healthy and is going to be on track.
Steve Pearce takes the ball downstairs.
And I think Neil Huntington still thinks about last spring training when James McDonald got sidelined for a little while, but still got ready for when the season started, but wasn't really effective in April. And I think Neil's going to be thinking about that in his approach to Charlie Morton this year. And they're very reluctant to push Charlie at all. They're going to take their time with him, make sure that he is 110% healthy coming off the hip surgery.
Charlie says his hip feels better now than it did all of last year. Pierce to center field. This will get a run in as Hernandez circles around it. An RBI for Steve Pearce as the Twins get on the board. Scoring is Valencia on the sacrifice fly. Let's go back to Rob King.
Sitting here with Neil Walker and Pedro Alvarez. Neil, first of all, you're back feeling okay?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to go. Had a full day worth of work today, and be back in there tomorrow, getting ready for opening day.
And you wanted to say hi to somebody?
Wanted to say hi to my grandparents in Pittsburgh. I would say that it's hopefully they're staying warm, but I hear it's pretty decent back at home now. So I want to say hi to them and see you guys soon.
I want to say hi to Big T. The weather is beautiful, and I'm going to do something that they tell you never to do, and I'm going to hand my microphone over to Neil Walker, who is going to talk to Pedro Alvarez.
Now, we got Pedro Alvarez here today. Not only is his facial hair looking fantastic, but he's got a great-looking swing. Pedro, how you feeling this spring?
I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling getting there and just ready to play some more games.
What a great time of year we have down here. We got great reporters. Root Sports is the best. We wanted to just say hello to everybody back home. We will see you soon, and there will be a lot of wins coming our way.
See you, Big T.
I think we just learned it's a lot easier to do interviews than it is to hit a baseball. These guys doing a nice job, Neil Walker and Pedro Alvarez. Guys, now back to you.
You know, it's amazing how differently they speak when they have the mic in their hand as opposed to in front of their face.
Do you see what I was talking about earlier, though, about the attitude in that clubhouse with the players, the way they are so upbeat, having fun, and a lot of it is because of the way they played last year and really made a big jump forward from where they had been before. And I think the signing of McCutchen had something to do with it the other day, really solidifying the fact that this organization is moving forward in the correct direction. A great attitude up there in that clubhouse with those guys.
Rene Rivera, the catcher, singled to right now. Alexei Casilla at the plate. He's 0 for 1, fly to left. 2 men out. Top of the 5th, 2-1 Pirates. Casilla waits the pitch from JoJo Reyes. To center field on a line right at the chest of Gorkis Hernandez. A run on 2 hits and 1 left. Halfway home in Bradenton. It is 2-1 Buccos. For 10-game ticket plan. It's the easiest way to make sure you get tickets to all your favorite matchups and promotional games. Choose from 3 pre-selected plans that include all the biggest games. Enjoy year-long benefits of a 10-game plan, including early access to PNC Park, ticket exchange privileges, bonus games, and more. To get your 10-game plan, call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS or visit Pirates.com. Season ticket holders, Bob, get to come in and watch the Pirates take BP this year. That's a new thing. Kind of great perk to have.
I think it is kind of neat to be able to watch the home team take batting practice at It's just kind of hard to do, with the timing that they have nowadays. You always get to watch the visiting team. Not now.
Nate McLouth off to a very good start today. Pair of singles. He'll face right-hander and former Cincinnati Red Jared Burton. Ball 1 to McLouth. Burton from Westminster, South Carolina. 30 years of age, 6'5" and 225. Two and 0 to Nate.
I wonder why that is. There's got to be a reason for it. Why the visitors hit last when it comes to batting practice.
That's a good question. One will have to
I don't
ponder.
know if it's good or not. It's just
it's something you have to ponder. It's always been that way. It's one of those things about baseball that you ask questions. You say, well, that's just baseball.
they didn't just flip a coin. They made it. It's been like that forever for a reason.
And I'm sure it's a good reason.
Well, the game starts if visitors hit first.
3-0 pitch. And Burton deals high on a 4-pitch walk to McLeod, so he has reached base successfully 3 times. The other 2 times he reached were on these solid singles. Maybe the first time.
Second hit when the ball was kind of fading down away from him. He didn't go out and roll over on it and hit a ground ball to second. He went the other way with a nice little line drive. See if he can do a better job on the bases. Thrown out trying to steal second. Last time he was standing where he is now.
Yamaiko Navarro looks to bunt. There goes McLeod, and he is out again. Nate thought he'd get in there. The ball came up. Jamie Carroll had to lift his glove up to catch it, then put it back down to tag him. And Wally Bell calls him out.
Yeah, we'll take a look here and see what we thought. Yeah, he was in there. The tag, look how high the tag was. It was up on his, I guess we could call it the backside. Watch the tag. It's so tough to get a ball out of the dirt and then get a tag down. And he didn't tag the ankle, didn't tag the foot, didn't tag the knee. He's in there. But, it's spring training. You're not going to argue. You're just going to jog off the field.
Navarro missed on the bunt attempt, fouled it into the glove of Rivera. Also, not often you're going to see a guy. There had to be some sort of communication deal going on there, because you don't see a guy bunt often when the guy's going to steal.
But did he try to bunt it, or did he pull the bat back?
Well, he tried to bunt, but the pitch was outside, so he pulled it back.
Well,
but he had it out there.
Yeah, but it would have been taking all the way.
Yeah, maybe so. Up in the air to right. And that ball caught by Willingham. Fans, you can like us on Facebook at Root Sports Pit, and you can stay connected with all our local teams and other passionate fans like yourself. What are you waiting for? Show us how you root on Facebook. And let's go Bucks. A lot of fans sharing their experiences on Facebook from spring training. Down here. Here's Barajas.
He's probably not going to hit a whole lot for average for the Pirates this year, but he does have some good pop in that bat. He gets the ball over the fence. He'll help out in that regard, and hopefully he'll stay healthy. We won't have that revolving door back there behind the plate that we had for much of last season.
Well, they only used 8 catchers. Franchise record was 9.
Just 8, huh?
Yeah. Just one shy of the franchise record. And one guy that's missing from the Twins, actually 2. Talking about catchers, Joe Mauer and Ryan Domet did not make the trip from Fort Myers. They're the only 2 position players that did not make the trip for Ron Gardenhire today. And because of the B game that has already occurred over at Pirate City, a big contingent from the Minnesota organization coming this way. Barajas down on strikes, and we're through 5 in Bradenton. Here comes the Parrot. It is 2-1. You can catch another Pirates spring training game at McKechnie Field when the Pirates take on the Boston Red Sox March 21st at 12:30 right here on Root Sports. Pirates beat the Red Sox last night in Fort Myers 7-4. Andrew McCutchen had a big night, went 3 for 3. And JoJo Reyes pitching to Eric Fryer, who has come in to catch for Ron Barajas. 21st against Boston, and then the Astros on the 24th, and then a night game March 26th. Final spring training telecast against the Baltimore Orioles. Denard Span, the leadoff hitter, he's 0 for 2, struck out looking and grounded out to first. He'll have his third at bat here in the top of the 6th inning.
Something we couldn't do up until just a couple of years ago. Have a night game here at McKechnie, the last ballpark in Florida to have lights.
Down to first base. And Fox beats Denard Span to the bag for the out. Eric Fryer, he was one of the 8. The grade 8 last year. You know, another one of those guys, Wyatt Torregas, has retired as a player and is a coach now in the Pirates system. Saw him over at Pirate City about a week or so ago, working with the minor leaguers. So 7 of the 8 still standing. One down, and Jamie Carroll rolls one to Navarro. Get 2 away in the Minnesota 6th.
A couple of nice quick outs. Ball not hit very hard. Reyes got centered up pretty good that first inning. Even a couple of his outs were hit hard.
Well, as a pitcher, your perspective in spring training, that's exactly the type of out you want, right? Get that quick ground ball.
I want that out in
July.
I don't care what time of month, time of year it is. That's what you love, is that to get a nice one pitch quick out. It doesn't really make any difference. As far as spring training outlook on pitchers, they're all going to be a little on the different side. Reyes has a much different outlook on how he judges each outing, each at bat, than you say Bedard would have. Bedard, it's kind of like exercise, getting your arm ready for the season. Reyes, on the other hand, is trying to make a team. Results are much more important to Reyes than it would be to Eric Bedard. Everybody is in a little different situation out there, and they have different priorities.
1-1 to Willingham. Foul past third. Willingham was an interesting player on the free agent market this offseason. Ended up with the Twins, was with Oakland. Willingham takes inside, 2-2. Another thing you don't see during the regular season, right?
Those pitchers running the regular season and Tampa. You don't see that.
Down the left field line, and it just hooked. Foul ball.
For some reason, George Steinbrenner never liked to see the pitchers running in the outfield, so he stopped that.
Yeah, there's a sign right by the visitors' clubhouse.
No running in the outfield. But everywhere else, that's what you see. You come out of a ball game, you go out, you get your running in out on the warning track. Part of spring training.
Anthony Swarzak getting his running. Jason Grilli starting to loosen up. We will see him today. Also Juan Cruz scheduled to pitch, but Grilli's expected to go in.
Well, he's one of those guys that he did a great job for us last year. Fantastic. Would you agree with that?
He revived his career.
So if he's healthy and throwing the ball well, the same way he did last year, well then, he's got to be on the team.
2-2's outside, count full.
I can't see him actually competing for a spot once he proves that he's just the same guy he was last year.
Well, remember, he was in AAA with the Phillies, had a clause in his deal, said if a big league club would sign him, they'd release him. And there's ball 4 to Willingham, and it worked out well for Grilli. He came to the Pirates, and not only did he stay, but he was very, very effective.
Oh, yeah, he was one of our best pitchers coming out of the bullpen last year. I was surprised when he really came over. He's not the youngest thing in the world anymore. He still throws the ball very hard. Very consistent with the velocity on his fastball.
Justin Morneau. Designated hitter today. A lot you can say about him, what he has been able to do with the Twins. Last year, not his best year, still coming off that concussion. And he loops this one into shallow left center field. That'll drop down for a hit. Two-out walk and then a two-out single off of JoJo Reyes. First and second, two-man out, and now the tying run is in scoring position for the Twins.
Yeah, this is where Reyes kind of kicking himself a little bit. He got those two quick outs. Could have had a nice, easy inning. Without throwing very many pitches, but then you walk a guy with 2 outs and nobody on base, and now you make a good pitch, just a little jam shot, but it goes as a single. Now you're pitching with 2 guys on, and if somebody says, is defying a chalk line, something like that, you're going to give up a couple more runs. Got to take advantage of those 2 quick outs.
Danny Valencia.
A lot of things you would like to abolish as a pitcher, and one of those 2 outs, nobody on, can't be walking anybody. And if it's a tie game in the 9th inning and Babe Ruth at the plate, maybe, but
he's not playing anymore.
99.5% of the time you got to throw strikes in that situation.
Valencia had a leadoff double in the 5th. And he is behind 0-2. So Reyes comes back after giving up the walk and the base hit, and is ahead in the count to Valencia. Reyes out of Riverside, California. 2-3 with Baltimore last year, 5-8 with Toronto last year. Trying to the inside and missed.
Kind of a funny name for the town, Riverside. Not exactly a big river running through there.
It's in the desert. 1-2 pitch. This one's fouled right.
Oh, we got out of the way of it.
That's it. That's all right. I was going to throw my laptop in the way.
This was my shield. I was hiding
right here. Of course, the guys in the IT department don't want to hear that I was going to use this to shield myself.
It hit the front here. I think bounced into the back.
It did, and it knocked something down and hit my foot.
That happens at least once or twice, just about every game we do. There's definitely in a line of fire back there.
And what happens is, see that Craig Monroe one, Bob? That one was done when you and I were doing the telecast here in 2009.
Really?
Yep. And then Kevin Youngs was so good they framed it, and that's over in the radio booth.
I think most of those will all get. Aren't they going to do a little fix up of this place in the offseason? We might not have any of those anymore.
Oh, this one is belted deep to left field, and it is gone. A 3-run home run on a 2-2 count. And the Twins have taken the lead.
That's what happens. We had 2 quick outs, and look what happened. Now you give up those 3 runs. By the way, did you see Presley?
Yes, sir.
That was a little embarrassing, I'm sure, for him.
Presley tripped over a blade of grass out there.
He went down. See, he got a little smile on his face. But you had those 2 quick outs, and then you walk somebody, and look what it leads to. In a way, you can almost look at it as a mental mistake. Watch Presley.
The grass monster reached up and tripped him.
You see him jump up and look straight over at the bullpen. You know they were yelling at him. I mean, he's not even running. He's just kind of jogging back there.
It's a short trip, Alex.
He went straight down, too. He bounced up, though. He's like, immediately. Nobody saw that, did they?
No, the ball was hitting your direction, and everybody in the crowd saw it, and on television.
He's thinking, well, I guess he can't say thank goodness it was over the fence, but that would have really been embarrassing if The ball hit the top of the fence.
One, two, and a bouncer to third. Played by McGee, and Trevor Plouffe is out. But damage done. A 3-run home run by Danny Valencia, coming with 2 outs off Jojo Reyes, gives the Twins a 4-2 lead. Is today's day automotive player of the day. 2 for 2, both of them doubles. Drove in a run and scored one himself, and he threw some leather around the field. Good day for Casey McGee. He pulls into second, one of his 2 doubles. Went down to third on a throw. They get Barajas at the plate on this one. And Casey McGee started to heat up, and here he is at the plate for his 3rd at bat.
The hits hadn't been falling for him until today. I'm sure he's feeling good about this afternoon, even though it is spring training and things don't really mean much as far as numbers. Especially when I think you come to a new team, you want to get off to a pretty good start. You want to get some hits, and as you just mentioned, not only the hits, but he really has looked good at third base this afternoon.
0-1 to McGee, facing a new pitcher, left-hander Matt Maloney. And 2 to McGee. McGee in 2010 was the Brewers MVP. Put up some terrific numbers there. Last year fell off. But he was the 5th hitter in that batting order in 2010. That was very, very effective. With Braun 3rd, Fielder 4th, and McGee 5th.
There's some players on this team that if they can have some seasons like they have had, McGee, Clough, Bedard. I mean, you're looking at some very, very solid years. He'd be a huge help for the club. McGee was a very good run producer, a lot of RBIs. Nate was tremendous. 20 home run guy. A lot of steals. Great defense out in the outfield. Bedard was he's had a few years in Seattle there where he was a guy that would go out and just take command of a ball game. He could pitch like a top of the rotation type pitcher. He has in the past. Interesting possibilities.
Payoff pitch coming from Maloney. And McGee loops this one out to shallow right center field, and that one will be dropped by the new right fielder, Rene Tassoni. He had to run a long way to get it. And that will be scored a hit.
First baseman number 41.
Rob King is standing by with the hammer.
All right, thanks very much, Tim. Joel, first of all, pretty efficient outing for you out there. How did it feel?
Felt good. Throwing strikes. Got 1 3-ball count there, but I was able to get the guy there, and a little disappointed with myself in the 0-2 pitch I made to the first guy, but it's spring training.
Pitching in the 4th inning as opposed to the end of the game, is there any kind of adjustment to that for you?
No, it's all the same. I mean, you're still going out there trying to get 3 guys out, and it's kind of nice in spring training because sometimes you're facing guys you don't know who they are, and they're just up there taking gangster hacks on you.
Such a great season a year ago. What did you do in the offseason to make sure you're ready to follow it up with a strong 2012?
Just pretty much do the same stuff I've been doing. Went back to the same trainer I had and started my throwing program about the same time. And I didn't throw quite as much this winter, to be ready for a long season. But just kind of do the same thing. And if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Just out of curiosity's sake, this looks like it's extremely cold. Is that extremely cold?
It is cold. It feels so good, though.
Does it?
Yeah, it feels real good.
All right, Joel Hanrahan, another great outing. Joel, thanks for the time. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Tim and Bob, back to you.
All right, thanks. Yep. One more second on camera for Hanrahan. He just wanted to get another one.
Yeah, I like picking out little things that they say and looking kind of like behind the scene, so to speak, for the meaning there. I'm going to say when he was a Washington National, and somebody would talk to him after an outing like that, he would have talked about, I feel really good. I struck out a couple of guys. What's he say here? He talks about only went to one. He goes, I went to a 3-ball count. That I would need to stay away from it. Right. It's all about now. His mindset is not going out there and trying to strike everybody out. His mindset is being aggressive and going after the hitters. That's the difference between Joel Hanrahan back when he was first coming up as a Washington National and now as a dominant closer. He knows the importance of going after the strike zone, staying out of them long counts.
Bouncer to short, Dozier to Casilla, over to first base to Pierce, and Hernandez beat it out, but they get the force, so fielder's choice. Fox is forced out, 6-4.
With his stuff, the strikeouts come. He doesn't ever have to even think about them.
Right.
And that's the change that he ended up making was he went after the strike zone. He knows now, even with the great arm, he's still got to go after the strike zone. Don't try and miss the bats. Put the pressure on the hitters.
Chase Darno had a base hit to right field in the 4th inning, and back in the 2nd. Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly. Drove in the game's first run. Got McGee to score from third base. Strike 1 on Darno. 4-2 Twins. Bottom of the 6th. Glad you're along on this TV exclusive here today on Root Sports.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You and others.
Oh. Thought you were talking to me.
No. Well, I usually am, but. That thing looks cold. I wonder if Hanrahan would tape that to his elbow. Pitch downstairs. Tomorrow, radio only. Greg and John will be in Port Charlotte. Pirates and Rays. Kevin Correa will get the start against Jeff Neiman. 12:30 for the Neil Huntington Show on 93.7 The Fan and Pirates Radio Network. But today, TV only. No radio, no web.
That'd be interesting. Huntington show, I would think.
A couple weeks into spring.
We'll talk to him about topics. The McCutchen signing.
So he's draws a walk.
Are there any other on the horizon? Maybe there's something going on with Walker. Could be a possibility.
I think that's a question that Greg probably has in the arsenal. He'll throw at Neil tomorrow.
I want to talk about Marte and his good work. What kind of timetable they're thinking about with him.
Jojo Reyes at the plate. Jojo had to take the helmet and bat while he was an Atlanta Brave, but not so much when he was with Toronto and Baltimore last year. But he'd been in the National League each year of his career in the major leagues prior to last year. So that's nothing new for him. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lucas Hernandez out at second base. Chase Darno at first. Good speed on the base paths as Darno represents the tying run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. 9 hits for the Pirates, 5 for Minnesota. Pretty good looking cut by Reyes. He goes down swinging. Pirates leave 2. 4-2. We head to the 7th at McKechnie Field in Bradenton. At PNC Park this season, Boys to Men kick off the first Fan Jam concert June 9th. Then Daughtry continues the fun during Fan Jam July 7th. Iron City Beer presents 2 Skyblast concerts featuring Zambelli fireworks and music from Styx August 11th and Lifehouse September 29th. For information or tickets to these games and events, go to pirates.com. And the Parrot has been making friends with cranes and ospreys down here. He's been down here a while. Steve Pearce, first ball swinging. Fouls it away against JoJo Reyes. 0-1 to Pearce.
Notice there's a lot of his wild brethren out Anna Marie Island. Flying around. Screaming.
Doing what they do.
Yeah. All kinds of those green parrots out there.
1-0 and Pearce not a good swing. 1-2. Pearce took batting practice for the Twins and immediately ran to the Pirates batting cage, which the Pirates will allow the visitors to use when they're done with it, and continued his swings. But Steve getting another chance with the Twins. 2007 minor league player of the year for the Pirates.
The Pirates, I think the biggest problem was they couldn't keep him on the field. He showed some flashes of being a good, solid big league hitter, but couldn't stay on the field.
Swing and a miss, and Pearce is down on strikes. Rob King is in the outfield somewhere with Alex Presley.
Thanks very much, Tim. Alex, first of all, going into spring training this year, this is the first time it seems like you've got a beat on a starting position. What's been your approach heading into spring?
Just trying to stay the same. I don't look at it as I have the spot sewn up. I still have a lot to prove and things to get better. So, there's no relaxing for me. I just go out and try to get better every day.
Well, what's your confidence level like? I mean, you had the 350 season a couple years ago. Well, let's see it again. Then you hit 330. Then you come up and you do well at the major league level in about a third of a season. What's your confidence level like right now?
I mean, it's high. I expect to do well. I don't expect to go out and play poorly. I mean, even though it happens, you just move on. So mentally, it's just having confidence is huge to be able to bounce back after a rough day, and to stay even after a good game.
We've been talking to some of the veteran players, and they obviously know their spot and they feel very comfortable. Do you look around and say, "Aha, I'm one of these guys now"? Or do you still feel like you're in fight and scratch and claw mode?
I feel like I'm going to be in scratch and claw mode for my whole career. So I don't take anything for granted. Play as hard as I can every day, regardless of if I'm supposed to be starting or not. So I just take the same approach.
He's been a line drive machine. It was fun watching him in batting practice yesterday, cracking nothing but liners. Alex, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
All right, guys, now back to you.
All right, and Alex kept his feet through the whole interview. Way to go, Alex.
That's a good point. He's got the right attitude, that's for sure. I'm not surprised at all that's the way his mindset is coming into spring training, that even though he's the left fielder, he's not taking anything for granted. And I think also that the way they went out and got a hold of Nate McLouth and brought him back as is a little insurance to make sure that if somebody doesn't play well or if there's an injury problem, they got a backup plan. But at the same time, it's a message to the players out there, Presley being one of them, that don't take anything for granted. We have a legitimate big leaguer that can go out and take time from you. So definitely the right attitude for him to have.
Casilla at second after the double. Joe Benson at the plate. Took over in center field for Denard Span. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Incidentally, when you saw Rene Rivera ground out to third, the player that made the play, Alveus Gonzalez, minor league infielder. Pirates have made some wholesale changes in the field. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Benson. Reyes got him. Jojo Reyes gives up the double with 2 down, but strikes out 2 in the 7th. It's stretch time at McKechnie Field in Bradenton, Florida. Time to take you around the ballpark and stand up. Take me out to the ball game. Runners and Pirates fans of all ages to the Pittsburgh Pirates 5K home run. Saturday, April 21st, the race towards the North Shore finishes right in the field at PNC Park. Prizes will be awarded to the top runners as well as to the best dressed Pirates fan. All proceeds benefit Pirates charities. To register for the 5K home run, visit pirates.com/5K home run. It was a great success last year. Still some spots available, and make sure you get in on it. Don't miss out. Saturday, April 21st. Finish line's right at home plate, I believe.
Where it should be.
Great sunny day here in Florida. Temperature dipped up around 80 degrees after the start of the game. Brandon Boggs will lead off. He takes the place of Alex Presley in the lineup. Kyle Waldrop is the new pitcher, the right-hander. Now, Minnesota brought a big contingent to Bradenton today. Again, they had a B game this morning, won by the Pirates. They played a 7-inning game over Pirate City. And Boggs, ground ball to the right side. And there's one out.
A long way. Make it worthwhile. Bring everybody.
Right. Ray Chang made the play, former Pirate prospect. And actually, Ray Chang, interesting about Ray, he had a very interesting, not interesting, but exceptional opportunity. Because he is of Chinese descent, he got to play for the Chinese national team at the 2008 Olympic Games in Beijing.
Well, that's got to be a great thrill for him to be involved in something like that.
He was a starting shortstop for them.
Something that no matter what he does, you'll always remember.
Quincy Lattimore, the right fielder. Dribbles one down to third. This is going to be tough to get Lattimore. He runs well. And a base hit right in front of Steve Pierce, who's moved over to third base.
Perfectly placed swinging bunt.
Shortstop, number 10, Anderson.
Here's Pierce, who played third and first at the University of South Carolina. In fact, as a first baseman for the Gamecocks one year, he won an entire season without making a single error. He has played a lot down there at the hot corner as well. Anderson Hernandez now batting with one out and one on. Aldridge pitch low.
I hope they say that too. Yeah, the former Delta 68.
New first baseman Aaron Bates moved over there, allowing Pierce to go to third base.
The spring training games are all about part one and part two.
They're two different games. One game is two games.
Yep.
I mean, let's face it. One game is two games. Now, today they brought a number of guys from minor league camp in and let them play. See what they can do. And that one is a diving stop. And Pierce, a terrific play, takes a hit away from Anderson Hernandez.
That was an excellent play by Pierce. There's no doubt about that. One of the best things that he did, though, is there wasn't even any thought of second base. He knew immediately, I got to get up and get it to first. Don't even take time to peek over there. He knew he had a lot of speed at first base, so he had to go that way with the out, can't go to second. Excellent play.
Eric Fryer, the catcher, came in for Rod Barajas, who started this one. And that one low ball one. Here's a guy who climbed the ladder pretty quickly. Within a couple of years, single A, double A, triple A in the major leagues.
There's going to be a little log jam, isn't there, at the catching position? You know, Sanchez moving up. Be interested to see how many catchers they have at the triple A level this year.
Lattimore off of second base, and Waldrop's pitch inside, 2-1. Lattimore can run. We've seen him play in a few of these big league games over the last 2 years or so. And that's one thing that's impressed, has been his speed and ability to get on base. Count even 2-2. Pirates down by a pair of runs. And out goes Fryer. So Waldrop able to strike him out. On to the 8th inning in beautiful Bradenton, Florida. You're watching spring training baseball on Root Sports. Pirates with MLB.com at bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, Android, WP7, or BlackBerry. It's spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit Pirates.com for details. Clint Hurdle, Ray Searage sitting outside the dugout here. Dugouts aren't exactly very big, but they have to have a lot of players in there during spring training games. There's an area for the coaches where they sit outside. Nice day to sit outside.
That is beautiful. These dugouts aren't kind of medium size, I would say, but the newer stadiums have built bigger and bigger dugouts. When this ballpark was first done, those dugouts were considered just fine. Jason Grelly, his numbers we were talking about an inning or so ago, did a fine job. 2.40 ERA, 2.48.
Well, the batter is Brian Dozier, the new shortstop for the Twins. A looper to Anderson Hernandez. That takes care of Dozier. Gurley's got his first victim.
Got that fastball inside.
Casey McGee had a big day, and he's standing by with Rob King.
All right, thanks very much, Casey. First of all, let's start with your defense. Made some excellent plays out there at third base today.
Yeah, I haven't been over there a bunch this spring, and it's something I feel a little more comfortable doing. So it's kind of nice to kind of feel like you're back at home over there instead of on island over first base. But yeah, it's always nice in the spring training. You want to get a couple balls and stuff like that. Thanks, Rod. See a couple balls live off the bat and just kind of get used to the reaction and that sort of stuff. So, it's all in all a good day. You like seeing balls coming your way, especially early in spring training. Try to get just try to get back in the flow of it a little bit.
You've been hopping around from first to third. What's it been like playing over at first base?
It's all right. It's a little different. It takes a little getting used to realizing that it's the ball coming from the other side of your face. I don't know why, but it actually feels really weird. But other than that, it's not bad. I've done it enough to where I got a general idea of what I'm doing. But there's still stuff to work on, and that's what's good about spring training games. You get situations come up that you can't really mimic in practice and stuff like that. So you can do a game speed. And, stuff comes up. Seems like every time that you maybe hadn't thought of or something like that, it's a little different. So it's definitely a learning process, but I feel pretty good doing it.
Really good day at the plate today. Obviously, you had 2 excellent years for the Brewers. Slipped a little bit last year. Do you feel like your swing is back now at this point in spring training?
I don't know. I mean, we're still pretty early in camp, but I like where it's at right now. It's kind of a process, and you're not going to get everything dialed back in 1 or 2 days. But I definitely like where it's at right now, and feeling like I'm right on track for where I need to be.
for Pirate Nation playing against the Milwaukee Brewers the last several years has not been a lot of fun to watch. You're now on this side of the equation. What were your thoughts playing against the Pirates, and what are your thoughts going to be now with the Pirates moving forward against teams like Milwaukee that have had so much success against the Bucs?
Last year was definitely a different field playing against the Pirates. There was, you could tell there was a little something extra there. And obviously they've got a couple of guys, especially like McCutcheon and Neil Walker and guys like that are kind of that next wave of superstars. Especially now that two of the bigger names in the National League Central are gone. We got two guys that got a good chance to step in and fill those shoes. So I'm excited about where this team's going and where it's at now. As far as playing against the Brewers, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I loved my time there. I had nothing but great things to say about the organization in the city. They were great to me while I was there. But with that said, it's kind of like playing your brother in one-on-one hoops. You definitely want to go put it to him. And I think it'll be a little weird going back to Miller Park and going to the other dugout and stuff like that. But once that first game gets out of the way, I think it'll be just business as usual. But hopefully I got a little information from the enemy we can mix in there and change it up a little bit.
Been a lot of fun for Pirates fans to see this guy in black and gold. Casey, thanks for the time.
I appreciate it.
All right, now back to you guys.
All right, Rob King visiting with Casey McGee a little earlier, and it is good to see him in Pirate colors and not those Brewers colors. Justin Morneau getting some swings as the DH today, not coming out of the lineup midway through, just going to get his at bats. Rene Tassoni was walked, so he's at first base with one out. Jason Grilli, a long look in at Fryer to get a sign. Missed with that one.
I think that was the same pitch he tried to bring in over that outside corner with the walk. I mean, you have to do that. That's the type of pitcher that Grilli is. He has to use his whole assortment. He's normally, or last year anyway, pitching close ball games. You can't be giving in. So he has to try and throw all of his pitches for strikes. Can't just sit out there and, just because it's spring training, feed fastballs across the plate.
2-2 now to Morneau. Really was a Lehigh Valley Iron Pig for a while last year. Phillies AAA. He was so excited when he got the opportunity to come to Pittsburgh, and as he continued to pitch out of the bullpen, Pittsburgh got more excited about Grilli.
There's that breaking ball again. Made a better pitch with it that time.
Justin Morneau, 4 times an American League All-Star. Last year hit .247, but in limited duty. Injuries have played a factor for Morneau the last couple of seasons. Bad concussion, one of them. Morneau holds off. And the count full. Matt Curry is the first baseman for the Pirates now, holding the runner Tassoni at first base. Curry out of TCU. This guy's got a good bat, Matt Curry. 3-2 pitch. Runner goes, and a ground ball towards short. Hernandez will not have a play at second. Goes on to first. Gets Morneau. 2 men out as Morneau grounds out 6-3, and Morneau 1 for 4. Tassoni slides in safely at second base.
Hernandez did a nice job throwing on the brakes. He was looked like he was on his way to cover second. Stopped, was able to make that adjustment to let the ground ball get the out.
Andrew Maggi is at second base. His first appearance in a big league game here in spring training. Elias Gonzalez at third, Anderson Hernandez at second, short rather, Maggi at second, and Curry at first. Fryer doing the catching. And in the outfield now for the Pirates, Brandon Boggs in left, Evan Chambers in center field, and Quincy Lattimore in right. There's Boggs. He's been getting some time early on. First week of games, he's been in almost every one of them. Aaron Bates, the first baseman, with an 0-1 count, really looks back at second a couple of times. Breaking ball in for a strike.
Looks like the last 2 or 3 times Grilly's thrown that breaking ball. He's starting to get a little better feel for it now. Able to get it where he wants to. If he throws it here, he's going to want it out of the strike zone, down, maybe away a little bit. See if he can throw that deuce in the dirt.
Broken bat roller to Curry at first base. He will toss to Grilly, and that takes care of the Twins in the top half of the 8th. 4-2 Minnesota. Jason Grilly with an okay outing. You'll miss Pirates postgame. See what Clint Hurdle has to say about the game and more. It's all coming up next right here on Root Sports. And there's still lots of time to go fishing after, so make sure you stick around for the postgame. Skyway Bridge in the background will take you north to Tampa.
Looks like the Rod and Reel Pier to me.
Santa Maria. Oh, he got a bite. He's got one. Going on, Bob.
Yep.
Did he lose him?
No, he's hooked up on a piling.
Too bad. Too bad.
I'm trying to get one of those sheep heads underneath there.
Probably so. Heading out doing that on the off day on Tuesday. Not off the pier, though.
Nothing wrong with the pier.
No, it's fine. Elias Gonzalez stands in the left-hand batter's box, facing a new pitcher, Lester Oliveros.
Fishing piers out there at the end of Anna Marie, they have something that you don't get in your other spots. Bartender.
Yeah, they have a bartender. Gonzalez hammers this one. And it is foul. Boy, did he hit the TV truck?
I think it got the truck.
You guys in the truck hear the thud?
Yeah, it rattled the gypsies around.
Elveas has left the building. The 1-1 pitch. And a strike is called. Juan Cruz warming up for the Pirates down there. Yeah, the charter captain that your son Tommy introduced me to last year I've already been out with them once. Took my boys out this year.
You guys did pretty well, too.
We did well.
I heard.
Going again Tuesday. Going to introduce the Parrot to charter boat fishing out here. And then
we've already seen those birds love fish.
They do. They do. And then he's going to, fly around. And hopefully when you throw the bait in, he doesn't go after it like the other fish do. So the Parrot. And then later on, he'll be out with your boys later in the month when they come down. And in between, we'll be doing nothing but talking baseball.
It definitely is one of the great things about being here on the coast of Florida is just a lot of great things to do. Fishing is only one of them. Look at this.
Gonzalez got a hold of it. Reyes Gonzalez is in with a double. So the third base spot. 3 hits from McGee, 1 from Gonzalez. Combined, they're 4 for 4.
It's always a thrill, I think, for the guys that get into ball games. They don't have the name on their back, so they want to do something special, and nice gap of extra bases. That brings the tying run to the plate. You can see the uniform. Blank on the back,
plus the double flapped helmet.
Yeah, that's always a giveaway also. They get,
and notice the socks of all the minor leaguers.
They got the little league hats.
Yeah, all the socks are high for the minor leaguers. That's a requirement for minor leaguers in the Pirate system. The Pirates aren't the only team that does that. There are a number of teams that do.
If you want to get your pants down to your shoes, you got to be in the big leagues.
Well, Matt Curry at the plate. Matt Curry, highly talented slugger from TCU. Was actually saw TCU's inter-squad game last month down in Fort Worth, Texas. His head coach there, Jim Schlossnagel, wanted me to pass along hellos. Also wanted me to say hi to Pedro Alvarez, who he coached with Team USA.
You get all over the place, don't you?
I do. Lucky that way.
You're a man on the move.
Lucky that way. In the College World Series, Curry had a grand slam in Omaha, Nebraska in late June of 2010. Very memorable swing for him. And here it is right now. It was the go-ahead grand slam. Curry crushed this one. Center field at Rosenblatt Stadium.
Obviously knew it was gone. Started hooping and hollering before he got out of the box.
Yeah. He remembers that swing a lot better than the last one. That was strike 3. By the way, Bob, when I was there at the inter-squad game, they were practicing with 6 infielders and 2 outfielders.
Bunt defense.
Yes. No. Regular defense. Not bunt defense. They were going 6 and 2. They've deadened the bats in college over the last year or so. They call them BB core bats now. Compared to the aluminum bats, it's like hitting with a rolled up newspaper.
Where'd the extra infielder stand?
Right up the middle. Not on every hitter, but on a number of hitters. And they were playing percentages. They had a right center fielder, left center fielder, and a middle infielder. Evan Chambers, a center fielder, with a 1-ball 2-strike count on him. Lester Oliveros, Venezuelan, 23 years of age.
I've seen that happen in the big leagues when you're trying to stop a runner from scoring. You have to put an extra outfielder, bring him in, bring the infield all in on the grass, and try to keep any ground ball from getting out of the infield. I don't think I've ever seen it as a regular defense, just with a guy hitting. That's something new.
Watch out. Ball pinballs back here to our right. So if it hits the metal right there.
That's the noise you hear. The green part in front of it. Kind of a little metal overhang, and that the ball bounces off that, and it's angled so that it comes right up into our booth.
That's why there's so many dents in back of us. Up in the air to right field. Getting over toward the line is Tassoni. He'll play it. Gonzalez bluffs like he's going to third base. And throw a little bit off the bag, but Elias Gonzalez hangs on.
That's what you want to do. It's a routine play out in right field. Go ahead, throw that throw. Not deep enough to score if he dropped it or anything. So not a whole lot to lose there.
Batter now for the Pirates is Andrew Maggi.
If the ball is deep enough to where you could score, if you mishandled it, then you might want to go ahead and scoot off there a little bit, play halfway.
Well, like Curry, Maggi also played at a high level in college baseball out of Arizona State. Played for the Sun Devils. One up high. Stole 21 bases when he was a freshman, breaking the record held by Barry Bonds for the most ever by a freshman at Arizona State. One pitch. There it is, a strike. 1-2, and Maggi's behind in the count. Lester Olivares, former Detroit Tiger, made his big league debut with the Tigers last year and ended up with Minnesota. Had 10 appearances with the Twins, 9 with the Tigers. Again, just 23 years of age. And down on strikes he goes. We are through 8. It's a 4-2 Minnesota lead. On to the 9th. News, special giveaways, and behind-the-scenes looks at your favorite teams. Join the conversation on Twitter today and tell us how you root. Those fans rooting for a couple of runs now. Start the top of the 9th inning. Bucks down by a pair. And that's an area of the ballpark there where they can stand and watch the bullpen as pitchers warm up, and there's a straight shot visually from where they're standing to the Pirates clubhouse, so they can see guys working out in a little grassy area outside the weight room that's adjacent to the Pirates clubhouse.
Let's put that fence up a few years ago. Used to just be totally open right there.
Here is Juan Cruz. Cruz, 33 years of age, from the Dominican Republic, and a big league veteran. Made his debut with the Cubs back in 2001. Facing Trevor Plouffe, the left fielder. And Ron Gardenhire trying to give Plouffe an entire game today. He is converting from being an infielder to an outfielder, so as much time as he can get out there, they're going to give him. And Plouffe down the right side. That'll go foul. Saw the numbers at Tampa Bay last year, 5-0 in 56 appearances. That number 56, one shy of his career high in appearances. He appeared 57 times for the Diamondbacks in 2008.
Number 24.
Ended up going 4-0 that season.
Okay.
But last year, 46 strikeouts and 48 2/3 innings for the Rays. Is that something that you look at, Bob, when you're looking at numbers first? Like when you pick up a stat sheet and we go to the stadium, are you looking at strikeouts per 9?
Yeah, I look at that. That's obviously something that's important. And I probably look at hits and innings pitched. Walks and hits put together for innings pitched. I guess they call it the whip now. You see a pretty good fastball from Cruz, swung on and missed.
Whipped it by him.
Yeah, he certainly did. It used to not have a name. They gave it that name whip. I don't know when or who did that, but that was probably the thing that the first area you would look at in that stat sheet is that you look at the hits, and if you saw that he gave up a lot of hits or a lot less hits than innings pitched, well, then you'd look at the walks and say, well, is the reason because he walked everybody? Well, no. You got a low number of walks. Now that tells me this guy's pretty good. Just those two things.
Steve Pearce pops this one up. Evan Chambers fighting the sun. 2 down for Cruz.
I think probably the strikeout number is more important for a guy like Cruz, a reliever that comes in. You want some swing and miss type guys, because late in a ball game there are some situations where you definitely don't want a ball put in play. You're looking for a strikeout, and that's, I think, why most closers are strikeout type pitchers. And that can be a very big weapon for you when you get into the last couple innings of a game.
Chris Herman, the catcher, takes a strike.
They get the lead-off double with a tying run, or a runner at third base with a tying run. You don't want that ball put in play. You got to have a strikeout. So you want somebody out there that's capable of doing it. So I think that's when you probably more than with a starting pitcher, you look at those strikeout numbers. Heck, with a starting pitcher, all that might mean is he throws a lot of pitches and doesn't go deep in games, because it takes a lot of work to get those strikeouts.
He's getting ahead here, Cruz, 0-2. Cruz has been with the Atlanta Braves. We mentioned the Cubs. Been with Oakland, spent the 2005 season there. 3 seasons with Arizona. 2 seasons with Kansas City. Last year with Tampa Bay. And he certainly qualifies now for journeyman status, as he has joined the Bucs this year. 2 outs, base is empty. Top of the 9th inning, 4-2. Minnesota. And there's strike 3. Good looking breaking pitch that froze the hitter Herman. 1-2-3 for Cruz. Last drafts for the Pirates, down by a pair of runs in Bradenton.
Field, Rob King here out in right field, and obviously Tim and Bob have taken you through the game. We invite you to stick around after the game, though. We're going to talk with manager Clint Hurdle, not just about this game, but about the state of the Pirates here at this stage of spring training. A lot of encouraging things going on. We'll go one-on-one with new catcher Rod Barajas. Going to ask him about his offense, also about the guys he caught today, including Eric Bedard, and of course we'll have highlights as well. We're also going to feature another new Pirate, Casey McGee. So a lot coming your way. Paul Alexander back in our Root Sports studios in Pittsburgh, and I'll be here with Clint Hurdle as well. Guys?
Thanks, Rob. We say hi to Paul, too. Haven't seen Paul since the last function we were at. So, getting set to go here. Robbie Grossman.
That wasn't that long ago. That was like a couple days before we left for Florida.
Was it? Well, a couple days before you left for Florida.
Yeah. I had to come down and do some research.
I know. You were down doing some advanced research. You and Greg came down, I think, the same day. Steve's been doing some research since January.
For months.
Yeah, he's been here since January researching. And then John came in 5 minutes before the first pitch on Saturday, I think.
Well, he's the youngest. That's his duty.
Robbie Grossman takes it inside.
He's the rear guard as we leave Pittsburgh.
John and Greg tomorrow, radio only from Port Charlotte. Pirates take on Tampa Bay. Kevin Correa will pitch against Jeff Neiman. That is radio only tomorrow. 2 balls, 1 strike. And P.J. Walters delivers. Fastball up. 3-1. Walters last year split time between the St. Louis and Toronto organizations, making appearances in the big leagues. 4 with the Cards and just 1 with Toronto. But each of the last couple of years spent some time with St. Louis. And Grossman hammers this one pretty well, but a terrific catch made by Joe Benson. How about that?
An outstanding play. Had to know that padded wall was coming up in a hurry. He did not shy away. A little last second adjustment as he found that ball. It's a tough center field to play. The wind and the sun. The sun is off in the west, which is behind home plate. He's looking up into it. And then you have the wind moving the ball all over the place. Andy Van Slyke, the best center fielders I've ever seen play, he never hesitated in saying that this center field here at McKechnie Field is the toughest he had ever played.
He's having that discussion with Nate McLouth in the clubhouse in Clearwater a couple of days ago. He said largely because of the wind. It's very, very difficult. He said more so than most other ballparks. I said, what about Wrigley Field? He goes, yeah, it's in that category. Brandon Boggs 0 for 1. He grounded to second in the 7th inning. But if you can handle the McKechnie Field outfield, everything else pretty much you can handle. 0-1. Pierce backs up and throws out Boggs. Or did he? No, he didn't get him. The throw drew Bates off the bag. So Boggs is safe. An error on the throw by Steve Pierce.
He made that great play early on, and this was not a hard play at all. Nice short throw, plenty of time, and way too high.
So instead of having 2 outs and nobody on, Pierce realizing that the tying run comes to the plate in Quincy Lattimore.
Could possibly ruin his day.
And Pierce is battling. He's battling for a spot with the Twins. It's an opportunity for him to continue to play, but where he plays this year remains to be seen. And Twins staff getting a good look at him today.
You know, when I first saw that replay, maybe I'm wrong, but do you think he had to leave the bag to make that catch? Was it that high?
Well,
maybe it was because after he caught it, he brought the glove down so quick. I don't know.
So. Bates pretty tall first baseman. Get another opinion.
Watch where he catches it. Yeah, he definitely had to be stick around. I don't know what I was looking at.
Bob, what were you looking at?
I have no idea. He doesn't jump. That ball's 2 feet over his glove.
Floridian.
I'm trying to help out the ex-Bucco.
I know. Lattimore takes high, 1-2. See if the minor league guys can pull it out today. Let's see Lattimore. Let's see P.J. Walters. 1-2. Got him swinging.
Yeah, that's why the records in spring training are just absolutely meaningless most of the time. The games come down to crunch time. You get players in the game that basically minor leaguers. And, you have one team playing with a DH, one team letting pitchers hit. I think, in fact, JoJo Reyes hit with a couple guys on base earlier in this game. So it's just you can't put much stock into the records because the games are not played to win. Not in the way they are during the season, anyway.
They are definitely different. I mean, where are you going to see a game in the regular season where you have a starting pitcher hitting in the lineup and the other team has a DH? You're just not going to see it.
Yeah, all things are different. Where the closers pitch.
Well, Hernandez bounces this one down to Burton. Kick save and a beauty. And he tosses over to Walters for the game's final out. So the Twins come in here today and win 4-2. They get a 3-run sixth after picking up a single run off of JoJo Reyes in the fifth. Reyes will get tagged with a loss today to go to 1-1 in spring training. Jared Burton, former Cincinnati Red, gets the win, and Walters will get the save. 2 hours 33 minutes of game time in this one. And the Pirates now go to 3-5 in Grapefruit League action. What did you see that you liked today?
Two best things. Bedard pitched well, and we saw the Casey McGee that the Brewers had the first couple of years they had him. He really played very well in the field. A couple of shots for extra bases. Glad to see Casey break that bat out today. But Bedard, with me, it's always about starting pitching. I want to see those guys doing well, throwing strikes, really hitting the spots with his fastball early on, freezing some guys for strikeouts.
Tomorrow it's to Port Charlotte and the Tampa Bay Rays, but today the Minnesota Twins come in and get a 4-2 victory. For Bob Walk, I'm Tim Neverett. For our entire crew, so long from sunny Florida. Thanks for watching.